Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm going to be talking with you about vocational guidance for ex-offenders today. Within that community, just a few statistics to just kind of help us better understand who we're talking about. 95% of the people who are incarcerated in state prisons right now will be released back into our communities at some point. Um, Within that, we see that 9 million people are released from jail each year. And so this is a fairly large population of people that are coming back into our communities and hopefully um, trying to find some form of employment. 40% of state and federal prisoners don't have a high school diploma or a GED, and they also find that two or a third have a physical impairment or mental condition. We also see that half of people who are incarcerated use drugs prior to their arrest. So there's several different, um, so you'd say, issues that ex-offenders have to deal with when coming back into our communities and trying to find employment. Not only are they going to have a conviction of some sort on their record, but a lot of them have not had formal education or have not gone through the full process of formal education and are also struggling with some sort of physical or mental addiction or impairment condition. And there's several people that are also going to be battling substance use addictions. So we just find that there can be a real struggle for the ex-offender coming back into communities and trying to find employment. The good thing is that there is a ton of resources for people coming out of the prison system and trying to find employment. Should they utilize that? And that's not going to limit barriers like the fact that a felony conviction reduces the likelihood of an employer calling them back by about 50%. Um, and that also, we see that mixed with the other issues that they're dealing with is going to make it hard for them to find employment, but not impossible should they utilize the resources that are available to them. You also find that 90% of former federal prisoners who secure employment after their release are successfully able to integrate back into their communities. So it just shows how important it is that we um, aid our clients and just members of our communities who do have a conviction but are wanting to change their life and become a productive member of society. Um, I also found a statistic that said that 85% of jobs are filled through networking. So as we're talking through the different options for ex-offenders and resources they can utilize, I think it's also to keep in mind when dealing with clients who are ex-offenders and looking for employment that a huge ally for them is going to be networking within their community, meeting people through church or different organizations, and just kind of trying to establish relationships with people that can open up some doors for better jobs for them and for long-term employment. In terms of websites that are really more for the entire country that an ex-offender can get on the internet at any time, we have the National Reentry Resource Center, and they're going to offer stuff like employment, housing, mental health, substance use treatment. There's exoffenders.net. They have articles, resources, reentry, job information, and voting information. There's a list of felon-friendly employers online. I have all these websites in your handout, so you can kind of look through this. Another cool article I found was 37 jobs for felons that offer a good second chance. I put that article in the handout as well, but we see that there's just a ton of different options for ex-offenders, from marketing positions, mechanical engineering technician, electrician, lots of options in the trades for people that'll hire ex-offenders, commercial drivers, a writer, graphic designer, solar energy technician, film or video editor. And these are all going to be job opportunities that can really financially enable ex-offender to provide for a family, or or just increase their current status of living, should they choose to do that. In the handout as well, also put down a few lists of books that had been recommended for ex-offenders that may come in handy for clients in the future. But the main thing I wanted to focus on are some of the local programs here around the Portland area that are reaching out to ex-offenders and really just walk with them through the process of finding a job, and getting established back into their communities. One of them is called Bridges to Change, and they offer mentors, temporary housing, treatment, and reentry programs throughout Multnomah, Washington, Clackamas, Marion, and Wasco County. So those guys are reaching out all over the Portland area, or providing a place where people can come in and receive information on jobs. If they need housing, if they're struggling with substance use, they have options for treatment. And also, I see this as being super important, but just having a mentor to walk with you through this process so you don't feel like you're alone. A lot of ex-offenders are going back into communities where there are high crime rates, high drug use rates, and just can be going back into some difficult situations. And having a mentor, I think, helps provide them with someone who's going to be a positive influence in their life, and also, walk with them through that process so they don't feel like they're alone. I think probably the major influential resource for the Portland area is called Southeast Works, and they have an entire ex-offender career center. And what they do there is provide community reentry programs for individuals with criminal backgrounds. They do this through assessing their skills and work readiness. They work on removing barriers to employment. They develop an employment plan based on some different career mapping techniques that they use. They connect ex-offenders to free workshops. They assist them with gaining certifications and learning different skills for specific jobs they may be looking for. And they also do follow-up support with ex-offenders, and making sure that they are staying employed and are happy with their employment options. So at Southeast Works, they have several different programs within the Career Center. Each of them are similar in ways in that their overall goal is to help the ex-offender find long-term employment that the ex-offender likes. That's one of the nice things about Southeast Works, is they're not just going to force an ex-offender to take any job. They're really going to work with them to find something that utilizes their skills and abilities, and also, with their desires for what they want to do with a career. And I just think that's extremely important for individuals, not just ex-offenders, but for all of us to be doing something that we're passionate about and makes us feel like we have a purpose in life. And so Southeast Works is really good at addressing those needs for ex-offenders. One of the programs there is called the New Start Reentry, or I'm sorry, the Reentry Enhancement Coordination Program. And here they're going to have access to education and job training as well. The education part is huge, as that can be a major barrier for a lot of ex-offenders coming back into their communities and wanting to try to find long-term employment that will sustain them and their families. Many of them don't have a GED, don't have a high school diploma, and this program will help them through that process of getting a GED, a high school diploma, and even helping them sort out options for college should that be something they want to do. In this program, they also do the workforce preparation, which is training, job search support. They have mentoring again in this program, one-on-one mentoring. They offer cognitive behavioral therapy, which is aimed at reducing criminal thinking and improving decision making. They have options for alcohol and drug treatment groups, coordinated case planning with parole and probation officers and their mentors, the ex-offender mentors, so that everyone's kind of on the same page for the probation officer and the mentor through Southeast Works. That way, it's a form of accountability for the ex-offender. They're showing that there's a 71% employment rate for someone who goes through this program at Southeast Works. Another program with Southeast Works is the pre-release exit program, and this is going to be for individuals who are actually still incarcerated but are wanting to prepare themselves for the workforce when they get out of jail. They work with the incarcerated individual 45 days before their release, and this is in Washington County, and it's basically helping them establish employment upon their release, so that when they come out of the prison system, that they are already have a job lined up and don't have to go through the stress of coming back into their community and looking for employment that's already lined up for them. They do workshops, they do job development, where they're going to teach the ex-offenders how to overcome some of the obstacles of applying for jobs, and also help them develop some of their job skills for future employment. Southeast Works also does reentry employment workshops, and this just kind of provides an area or a place for individuals with convictions to network, to support each other, share resources and job leads, kind of that the statistic for networking that I talked about earlier, the 85% of jobs are secured through networking with people. And so this gives individuals a place to come and connect with other ex-offenders, and also helps them identify some of the skills that they're going to need for interviewing for jobs and researching employers and what skills they might need to obtain a specific job. And they hold those 260 times a year. It's my understanding as well that if you are in any of the programs at Southeast Works, you're required to attend each of these employment workshops while you are unemployed. So the people in their program are required to go to these workshops, which I think would be a good thing while looking for an unemployment, to have that support network. Another program is Connect to Work Experience, and this matches motivated workers with limited work history in a specific career field and work sites that can give them job training and job experience. It's used as a foundation to support customers and long-term employment goals. And so this is going to give ex-offenders an opportunities to try out certain job fields and see if they like that, and see if it's something that they want to continue to develop for their long-term goals. There's also the Prisoner Reentry Employment Program, and this program utilizes career coaches that work individually to develop an employment plan, and also provide job retention strategies and placement, support the aids, the ex-offenders in obtaining and maintaining long-term career track employment. And so all of these options are found at Southeast Works in Portland. Um, just a wealth of resource and help for ex-offenders in the Portland community where they can go and feel accepted and feel like they're working with people who truly care about them. Again, I just want to say, I think that we underestimate how difficult it could be for an ex-offender who is coming out of the prison system and truly wants to change their lives, and kind of aside the point, but there's several ex-offenders that have encounters with God in the prison system, and I just feel like it's our responsibility as not just as counselors, but also as Christians to be supportive of this community and really help these individuals who are wanting to change their lives and get back on the right track and have a form of employment that they're going to enjoy doing long term. Thank you for your time, guys.